Hello and welcome to another episode of Put Me in Coach on episode 32, Diamondbacks versus Cubs Game 2. Lineup of today, Kento Marte is now on the top of the lineup playing second base. Vargas playing first base. Loris Gurriel Jr. playing left field. Nolan Arenado's playing DH, Jose Fernandez playing third base, James McCain playing catcher, and Jorge Barrosa playing center field, and the rest is the same. But fortunately enough, Perdomo now is in the second spot, and Marte is in the first spot. Fortunately enough, not really a lot of hits and stuff. There was a few, but not a whole lot and stuff, so that's pretty much of that. This is not really, there was not a lot of scoring in this game, but I would definitely say there were good hits, and then we just didn't do most of the things today, and stuff was not very oppressive in a way. Pitching wise, enough. Ryan Nelson starting pitching. Fortunately enough, he did better than before. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 3, walked 2, and gave up 1 run and stuff. So that's pretty good of enough of what the last time and stuff. I think last time he got a little spanked from like the White Sox and all that stuff. It was pretty impressive enough of what I was watching from Nelson was basically he keep throwing the heater. His four-seam fastball has always been like 97 per hour, 98 per hour, 99 per hour. There was some low times where there was 95 and 94 and stuff, and then there was sometimes enough he throws like cutter or whatever and stuff. But man, the four seam fastball is helping him a lot and stuff, and just the way of he was very consistent at the plate and stuff, and he just throws it in there and stuff. Just the way his angle of the way he pitches and stuff, and he just throws strikes and stuff, and he just throws like the hardest he can and stuff. And Cubs are like, passing it through enough of they can't hit it or stuff, or they're like a little delayed enough of like, yep, that's a strike. So he was really cooking the Cubs today and stuff, just a little bit and stuff, but he was fighting in a way and stuff. Cubs starting pitcher Sata Enmenaga, he did pretty good. He won 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 4, walked once, and no runs and stuff. So I think he did a lot better than Nelson today and stuff, but again, it's so weird enough of like where Nelson was like cooking with the four seam fastball, where enough of Enmenaga was basically showing the sinker and stuff, and that was working for him and stuff. And Diamondbacks cannot hit off of that somehow and stuff. So he did pretty good for the Cubs and stuff. Bullpen for the Diamondbacks, Kevin Ginkel, Taylor Clark, Juan Morello, and Jonathan Laskia and stuff. Again, I thinking there's at times enough of the bullpen just not giving any runs and stuff. Obviously, yeah, Morello gave up 1 run and stuff, but things are gonna happen at some points and stuff. But just 1 run, it's not that bad and stuff. So I love to seeing the bullpen progress and stuff. Scoring, there was not really a whole lot because fortunately enough, the Cubs did win the game 0-2. The record right now for the Diamondbacks is 16-16. We are now a 500 team right now and stuff. And all bats were on Ian Happ. So Ian Happ hit a solo home run in one of to make it 1-0 in the bottom of the second. He got another base hit, got a triple, and stuff, and then somebody sacrificed fly for him to come in. It was very close enough because Lourdes Grid Jr. threw it in and stuff, and almost got the tag to Jace McCain to get Ian Happ at home plate, but fortunately the ball slipped from James McCain and Ian Happ was safe for them to get 2 runs, and those are the only 2 runs in the game and stuff. So the Diamondbacks did not get any runs in this game. So fortunately enough, we now lost a series again and stuff. Now this is our 4th time now losing a series. We are now with 5 wins of a series, 4 losses of a series, and we split 2 series and stuff. That was with the Braves and the Padres. So the Diamondbacks are not really looking good. We'll talk about the progress right now and stuff. Just showing enough. Vargas' hitting streak is over. It's sadly enough to come to this far. 27 hitting streak is crazy overall and stuff. Unfortunately, yeah, he did pass Paul Goldschmidt because Goldschmidt had 26 consecutive hitting streak and stuff, so he passed him and stuff. Luis Gonzalez is still the most record in consecutive hits, as a Diamondbacks history is 30, and he ended up at 27. So it's sad to see enough. He had 4 chances, all 4 of them he just got out and stuff. And fortunately, until the very end, and I realized enough of, okay, he went 0 for 3. Does he have another chance? And then fortunately enough, he did in the 9th inning, and he got out. So I think he was trying to go for it, but it just didn't work for him and stuff. Yeah, we gotta get some runs in. It's not good enough of we cannot score at all in stuff. Obviously enough, the bullpen made it difficult for the Cubs to get more runs, especially Ryan Nelson basically just gave only 1 run basically to the whole game till the 8th inning, whatever and stuff. So that's the most biggest thing towards that and stuff. And pitching, we're doing pretty good. Hopefully they can show that more and stuff for that and stuff. But yeah, it sucks to be at this point because they keep losing and stuff. I don't know what to tell you and stuff. Hopefully they keep learning their mistakes, learn their homework and all those typical things, we do need progress, but it's just not showing it and stuff. And you also got to just say, good for the Cubs, because Cubs are fighting as well. So, got to get prop for the opponent team, just for them to not give the Diamondbacks any runs. So, Cubs are doing good at this point and stuff. They're winning more games than enough. They're in 2nd place in their division as well and stuff. And we're still, honestly enough, 3rd place in our division. So, those are that, hopefully enough for tomorrow. We don't get swept. So, we do need to win tomorrow so we don't get, embarrassed in a way and stuff to get swept and stuff. So hopefully enough we can go to win 1 game out of this series than losing all 3. So that is that. Yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and thank you for watching.